Welcome back to another Thursday. It's time for a gear talk. We're still going with the Hivebuster discussion series. It's going to be going for a while by the look of it. I would honestly assume up until the end of the year, because I'm thinking about the characters that are left. We got like Hana, Mac, we've got Keegan, and I've got one more. You can probably guess who the last one is, but I've got one more. I'm not going to say out loud who it's going to be. Maybe they'll round out the year. But in between those, I want to talk about some more stuff revolving around the Hivebusters. And I thought to myself, well, what can I talk about? And I have a few video ideas I made. I've got the idea of Mac and Keegan's another relation video for Mac and Keegan. Kind of like what I did with Kim and Rom or Hoffman and Marcus. Mac and Keegan have a really good dynamic. I want to talk about that. There are some other weapons I want to talk about that they're swarm weapons, but you get a lot more feel of them when it comes to like the Hivebusters. Like, for instance, the Breaker Mace. That's a really big one because the Wardens are really shown well throughout the Hivebuster DLC in the comics. I'd want to talk about that during this discussion series. But I thought, what else do I have? And I thought, you know what? I can talk about the weapons. Well, not really the weapons, but the items, the gear, and everything that's used by the Hivebusters. Because there's not that many. I can finally make a short video for everyone because they keep coming out long. And I can also talk about this is the stuff that's used mainly for the Hivebusters. We do not see this anywhere else in any of the stories. These items and this gear is used explicitly by them only. So I thought I would make that. Go over that. It ties in perfectly, a Hivebuster discussion series. We have a Hivebuster item. So let's talk about that and go into 3 different items that are mostly used by the Hivebusters themselves. Now, when I say items and gear, one of the things I'm talking about is the gear themselves, the gear being the armor. You have the Hivebuster armor set. Now, this is a little... It's not really like a specialized thing. There's only like one special item, and we'll get to that in a second, that comes with the armor piece itself. The Hivebuster armor is mainly made to be extremely lightweight. For instance, Gears Tactics, there are some lightweight armor sets in there, or like the Recon or Ranger armor sets that are in the Gears verse for like things that are light to move around in. You're able to have movement, nothing is really blocking you. Like with the heavy armor from like 1 and 2, for instance, that Marcus was wearing. I don't think Marcus can go around doing stretches like this when he's got armor that's holding him up walking around like this most of the time. This armor is mainly made for mobility, because the main point of being a Hivebuster, and there's only 3 members, but I'm sure they'll expand upon it with the next game. The main point of being a Hivebuster is you're setting the Venom Bomb inside of the Hive and evacuation. Technically, the main mission is just put the Hive Bomb, the Hive Bomb. Could you imagine that? The swarm make a bomb that when they put it off and have it go off, it creates a new hive. That's a good idea for a mode you could put in Gear 6. Leave that on the table. I think that would be pretty nice. Anyway, they put the Venom Bomb in, and the moment it goes off, the mission's done. The mission is complete. You're done, period. We win. Getting out, that's just the secondary. They're made to be suicide missions. Once you do it, you're done. And you getting out is just second priority. Still important, but second priority. So the armor is made for you to move quickly and make a run for it. Because of having pretty much the chest piece is all you get. And I should say also, the coloring for it's different than most COG armor. Even UIR, it's similar but not really. It has a COG feel to it, but the coloring is UIR because it's an olive green. And the UIR were known for a dark green color. I'm very certain there's actually no relation. But... yeah, the olive green, and it's made to be light, which the downside of all this is you're not carrying much into the battle. I originally thought, when I looked at all of this, they only carried pistols to show the swarm, like, we surrender. We don't have anything on us, and you have, like, a hidden pistol. I'm also thinking not only is it kind of that, but it's also, like, I don't know, it's also, like, we're doing it for mobility, and we just don't have anywhere to put guns. We have enough to carry a pistol, that's about it. And I should bring up now, like I said I would, the only specialized part of this armor, there's really 2, but one of them's just for effect, the other one's actually for a reason. So the first thing is there's always a little decal of the Hivebusters on their Team Scorpio, but with all the DLCs, which technically the DLCs are non-canon, but some of the characters it could work for, they have their own sprays and everything on their chest. But that's just for their own little motif of what they want, their own little special thing. But the actual only main thing, get this, I looked it up on the wiki, and I'm very certain this part's true. I don't trust I trust 95% of the wiki. There's like that 5% that doesn't make sense sometimes. But this part I think is true. They, just on their little chest right here, it's a little Velcro strip. Just a little bit of Velcro. And, yeah, you just hook the Venom Bomb on, and there you go. It's on your chest. And that's made so that when you're taken in by the Snatcher and you're dropped off, when you wake up, you rip it off your chest, and you put it off, and you're set. So I thought that was pretty fun. The only specialized portion of this armor for a Hivebuster is just a little Velcro strip. So I thought that was really cute. Now the second item, and I think I'm just going to work my way up to the most important. I think the second item we'll talk about is the Adrenal Injector, or the Adrenaline Injector, depending how you want to say it. So this was actually made by Hana Cole, and this was, let's see here. This was after Mac brought up the idea of, hey, maybe if a Snatcher is going to bring us to the main area and pod us, what if we had a way of waking up and we could just set the bombs off there? That led Hana into thinking, well, we'd have to figure out how to keep you alive, not getting podded, not turning into a juvie. We got to figure that part out. Because as we've seen, you can get podded and escape and still be fine. As we learn in some of the supplementary material from 5 and the collectibles, and we see it in 4, Marcus got taken and he got out of his pod after he was placed in the hive. As far as I can tell, by what the report said, Marcus was okay. It messed with his mind a little, but not in a permanent way. And also, I think Dom's been gone for a while. I think Damon Baird. I think Baird said he could see signs of like molecular like deconstruction slowly beginning on his body. So like maybe his outer layer of his skin was starting to slowly be like eaten away. So it can break you down completely and reform you into a juvie, because that's what the pods are made to do. So they had to figure out a way for that not to happen. So Hana created the Adrenal or Adrenaline Injector so that you would take it, place it on your mouth, and when it's on, it brings a tube that goes down your throat and it goes to your lungs. So that once you're podded, your lungs aren't being filled up with like all the goo that eats you from the inside out. It's put on, your lungs are fine, you're able to still breathe because the injector also works as a filtration device, so I'm guessing it has a way of like recycling the air you breathe inside of it, because the pods, it's liquid in there, it's not air. And then when you're in, a timer will go off or something will go off at a certain time where it pretty much wakes you up, and then it shoots like aerosol-based adrenaline into your lungs, and that heightens you up, wakes you up, and that's when you cut your way out. And then when you take it off, you pull it off, and you pull it out of your throat. It's never fun. Throughout the entire game, you see no one enjoys it, and then you just get rid of it, because I guess they can just make more. I'm guessing they're easy to make, or at least Hana has the blueprints to make more, because it's shown that they're going to keep going through hives, so I feel bad for Hana, so she has to keep making them all. So, but yeah, they just throw it to the side, and then that's when they go through and do the hive operations. Now, this isn't a perfect device. It does not work 100% of the time, and I'm only saying it probably doesn't work all the time because the time we didn't see it work was with Mac, and Lonnie had to cut him out. So what happened was Max was just faulty and didn't work, and the other two had to get him. So I'm assuming, because that was their second ever hive bust, because the first one was over on Sanctum, and that went horrible. That didn't even count, really. But the second one they ever did or attempted, they actually succeeded in, but that was the first time they used the adrenal injectors, and Max just didn't work. Now, the final item that's actually used, and it's the main component, the main thing you need for the Hivebuster scenario, or for the teams, or for the missions, is the Venom Bomb. Now, the Venom Bomb actually has a history to it. It wasn't just something concocted up by Hana, like, here, I made this bomb, this weapon of mass because it is a weapon of mass destruction, chemical warfare. She said, I have this that's going to perfectly take care of all the problems, we just need to place it and we're done. No, there's been a lot of steps to getting this thing to work. So, and this is why I think Hivebusters, the DLC at least, takes place between, or at least in the middle or a third of the way through Gears. It actually does. It's stated on how Hoffman got this chemical for it. So what it is over at New Hope, flashback all the way to Gears of War 2. The New Hope research facility is found. Marcus and Dom go through. Oh my goodness, it's the Sires. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're out of here. See you, Niles. Flash forward all the way back to then, and now coming all the way back to Gears 5, when Kate's having her visions, and Not Hoffman. I'm getting names mixed up completely here for some reason today. Marcus knows about New Hope. He knows about the testing there and that might be able to help Kate. So he tells her about it and they go off there. While she's going through, they come to a part of New Hope that Marcus was never at because they only went through the main area they had to go to and leave. That's all they did there. So they went over there. Kate did, and they went to a new area, and that's obviously, like, Marcus already dealt with sires, but there was something that was in place that the AI had ready, and that was the final cleansing procedure, which released this deadly chemical that was given to them by the cog that was dropped off there that they never used, that New Hope didn't use. The cog was just bringing it to them. And what was meant to happen was if the sires ever got out and things went bad, this gas would go off, the entire facility it would go off in, kill everything. That was the main point of the gas. It is a gas that just kills you. That's what it is. It's a chemical weapon. So after they went there, Kate did all of that and she left. Hoffman, who was still with the cog at the moment, kind of just like an aide or like an assist, not even an assistant, but probably like an advisor to Jin on war. They actually procured some of that. So Kate didn't bring it back, obviously, but obviously some cog probably went, got some samples, brought it back. That's how Hoffman got a hold of it, or he had one of his friends get a hold of it and bring it. So he got that before, pretty much into his forced retirement by Jin, and he held on to that, and he said, Hana, I need you to make something out of this that can kill the swarm. Because at the time, Hana thought it was still under cog operation, not a rogue operation. So she makes it, and she makes the bomb. Like, here, put this in. This will set off the gas. And I'm sure she like, did whatever you do to make copies of it. Because it's a chemical weapon. I'm sure she looked at, like, the chemical, like, everything in it, and she can make more. So she made it, but it doesn't work 100%. Yes, it can damage a hive, but it doesn't kill the hive. It does not kill everything in the hive. Wardens are not affected by this. I'm guessing higher elite scions are not affected by this. At least I don't remember they were. I don't believe snatchers are affected by this. I do believe pouncers are. And I mean, I'm going to guess the big heavy hitters like the carriers. The carriers are probably not affected. Maybe it would somewhat affect what they're carrying, but I don't think the carriers themselves are affected. I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I played 4 and got the name in my head, but just the giant, like, behemoth creature from 4, I don't think this thing would kill it. I think it would just, like, this stuff's annoying, but that's about it. So it didn't work, so after that, and this goes into the DLC, they're like, oh, the Wakatu thing bird, at the time they don't know its name, this thing was shooting venom, what if we get some of that? They go learn about it, they go fight it, they get the venom, bring it back to Hana, and Hana says, okay, if we were to mix that, because that's killing everything it touches, if we mix that with this, then this can become airborne on a wider range, because the New Hope one was like a wide range it went out. It wasn't just like, they had to spray it everywhere. No, once it went off, it just spread very quickly. If we have that mixed with this venom, this is going to kill every single thing. It's going to have the spread speed of whatever was that New Hope for the gas they had, and it's going to have the potency of the venom. So you have the Venom Bomb. Once you put it off, you have some time before it like actually blows, and then that's when you run. You're already running the moment you hit that timer. You are already on the run. And once it goes off, as far as I can tell, it is deadly to everything. The swarm, it just kills them all, and it kills the hive itself, and it will kill people that are left in it. If I believe so, they're both affected on the same level. I don't believe it would kill the swarm or humans faster. I think it's just overall just wipes through and kills everything. That's how I believe it goes. So I think that's everything really with the Venom Bomb. I don't think there's anything else. This more goes with the swarm, but it affects the Venom Bomb for talking about it. When letting off the Venom Bomb and having it fully go through and kill everything that's in the vicinity, the Venom Bomb does not, if it were to kill the hive and everything in it, let's say there's a scouting party outside the hive of swarm, those swarm are not affected. They probably realize, because they're all like neurally connected, like something's wrong, the hive's been hit, and everything's gone dark there. And it might affect their mental state of like high running or lower running, like I've said in other theory videos. But I don't think they're sitting there like, I'm now dying. Oh no. I think it's more like okay, that's bad. Let's go find another hive and give them a heads up and see if we can't merge with their hive. It more works like that. So the Venom Bomb is potent, but it's a chemical weapon. It's not going to neurologically connect to everything on a mental psychic state and kill it all. So it's very powerful, but again, the swarm, it's not a genocide weapon that would just kill them all with one go of this weapon. And that's pretty much it. I can't really think of anything else for the Venom Bomb or equipment. Like I said, I didn't plan on this being a long one. It's still somewhat long, but not as long as they normally go. So that's going to do it, really. Next week, we'll have another discussion video. I'll put out the poll. We'll see who it is. Fingers crossed for a certain somebody. And that's going to do it. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank everyone for making these videos possible. Thank the patrons for making this video possible. I'll see you guys next week, as long as I don't forget. I shouldn't be forgetting. See you guys next time. Later.